high value traits you want to see.
Be submissive. Don't be a
Be submissive. High value things. Be submissive. That makes you high value because you're submissive.
pain in the ass.
Don't be a pain in the
Not
ass.
speaking a lot.
Not speaking a lot. Right. So here that's they don't want women to speak or not to speak a lot. Again, earlier in the last video that we saw from him, or one of the last videos we saw from him, he complained that women didn't argue or discuss things in an articulate or logical way. And now he's saying that he doesn't want women to talk. Which way do you have it? Do you want somebody to be able to have an articulate conversation where they can, give a good logical reasoning and deduction and give good logical points, or do you want them to sit down and shut up? Because again, you can't have it both ways.
Being quiet more often. No, I'm being very brutally honest here. Like, I'll keep it 1,000 with y'all, man. Like, men really don't give a fuck about your opinions.
Again, he's describing men, but the men he's describing are not I'm not going to say not all men. He's describing the men that he hangs out with, the men who watch his podcast, the men who he is focusing his podcast to, the men who he's advertising his podcast to, the men who is in his target audience, the incels, the men's rights advocates, the MGTOWs, the people who he hopes are watching right now, who are watching and it's like, yeah, I've been screwed over by women so much, man. And that's the type of relationship I want, because women have screwed me over for so much. I can't, that's the type of relationship I need because Myron says so, man. And then they're going to find women because, again, heteronormative, cis-normative relationships are what they're talking about. They're going to find the women who agree with them because they want to find the women who want these so-called high-value alpha men, and they're going to agree with it, but then they're going to complain that the women are lacking in certain areas because you've artificially constricted who you're dating. Just like the other guy in the other video the other day who was complaining that with Brian from whatever, he complained that when he showed a little bit of emotion to somebody he was dating, and then she left him or they broke up because the relationship changed. Why? Because he artificially constricted the people who he dates to only those people who agree with the shallow set of rules that they believe in when it comes to relationships, instead of finding people who really believe that relationships should be 50-50, you should be a partner with your people that you're in a relationship with. No, he doesn't value the person who he is screwing opinions. He wants to find a wife who is just going to be there to serve his penis. That's all he wants. It's literally all he wants. A status symbol. Somebody who he can have his arm candy, who will do whatever sexual favors that he wants her to do, that he can throw away and toss aside when she doesn't serve his needs any longer.
And I'll tell you where this stems from before you guys get angry and call me a misogynist.
Why would they not call you a misogynist? That's what you are.
The reason why is because women live a much easier life than men. So since
Sure. I mean, you think that women live a much easier life than men because you think that in this artificial world that you constructed for them, that you're going to say, okay, well, I'm going to say that I'm going to provide for you, and therefore you are going to do this and this and this for me. So therefore you're going to be my sex slave. Basically what it entails to. You're going to follow my set of rules, and you're going to be stuck with me because because he's going to make sure. He wants to make sure that he doesn't want his, as we've seen in other videos, he doesn't want his girlfriends or wife to have any other guy friends because he's afraid that she's going to screw him. They can't go out and like party with their friends. They can't have fun with their friends because he's afraid that she's going to find somebody else, because he's insecure, because, you know, that's what insecure people think. He wants her to he doesn't want her to talk. He doesn't want to hear her opinions, and he wants her to put out whenever whenever he wants her to. He doesn't want her to be educated, so he doesn't want her to be able to feel like she can leave at any time that she wants to. So he basically wants somebody who he finds attractive, who's going to put out all the time, and who's going to basically be stuck once she's with him and has no way out, who's going to be trapped with him. That he wants basically an abusive relationship, because that's the only way that these type of people can keep a quote relationship. It's not even a relationship. That's the only way that they can keep a person around, because they can't keep a person around based on having a 50-50 partnership, because they don't have what it takes to bring that. They don't have anything to bring to the table to have a partnership with somebody. They don't have what it takes to do that. They lack any sort of value for that sort of thing. So they have to manufacture value. Again, they believe themselves to be gold, but it's pyrite. And they're selling themselves as gold when they're fool's gold.
Since women live a much easier life than men, what the hell can you tell me about life? Right? Like
what can they tell them about life? Well, they're only picking people who have no life experience. Again, he's not going to date somebody who's 30 years old, who's a lawyer, who's a doctor, who's been educated, who's had life experience, who's, you know, had more than a couple sexual partners, who's been around the world, who's had a good time, who's been able to have life experiences outside of him. He wants people who've had no experience in life. So of course, people he date won't be able to tell him much about life, because that's not what he doesn't want anybody who can tell him about life, because he wants people who don't have experience with life, because he wants people who he can talk down to and who he can own. Because anybody who has life experience is going to look at him and be like, psh, this is BS. I don't want to be with anybody who's like this.
It doesn't make sense. Like, if you're a lawyer and a paralegal tries to tell you how to run a case, you're going to be like, what the fuck? You haven't been to law school. Shut up. You're not.
But he's probably not going to want a lawyer or a paralegal. He doesn't want anybody who has any sort of education.
I'm going to listen to them. And I don't want to say that's the same relationship between men and women, but I'm trying to give you an example. Like, men have to go through way more in life to get to a certain point. So you're not going to sit there and...
But yeah, so he's going through way more in life, but he doesn't want anybody else who's gone through that much more in life. It's hypocritical, again, because he's going to judge women for not having gone through all that in life, because he's only picking women who are like 18, 19, 20, who have little life experience. How can you judge somebody for not having life experience when you're only picking people who have no life experience, because you're only going after 18, 19, 20-year-olds? This is why y'all people who watch this stuff and believe in this stuff are being fooled. This is the con. He's manipulating you into thinking that women bring no value, only because he's conning you into thinking that all women are like this, when in reality he's only dating people with no life experience, and then he's assigning that to all women, when there are plenty of women out there who have lots of life experience. He's just choosing not to date them because he's afraid to date them, because if he dates them, he knows that they're not going to put up with his bullshit.
Want to take an opinion of someone that lives an easier life than you do. And let's be honest, a lot of times when a man's with a chick, the chick makes less money than him, she maybe isn't as competent as he is, that's why she's...
In his situation, sure. Because again, he's only picking the people who have limited life experience. He's only picking the 18, 19, 20-year-olds, the people who don't have an education, the people who he doesn't want educated women. So if he's not going to pick people with if he's only picking people with limited life experience, of course they're going to make less money than him. Of course they're going to, again, you can't judge women based on by a limited subset of people that you're picking.
She's attracted to him in the first place. He's supposed to be the leader. What the fuck do I look like as a leader talking to a subordinate and getting advice from them? Doesn't make sense.
Again, you want your person to be a subordinate. So therefore you don't want a partner. So you have a shallow life. I'm sure you cannot have a good relationship if your person that you're in a relationship with is not a partner.
Hi.
Kimchi, who is this loser? Never heard of him, never want to hear him again. Again, this person is somebody who's very popular. Unfortunately for him, maybe fortunately for the rest of the world, he's somebody who got demonetized on YouTube. Maybe, I don't know what it is exactly that he said that got him demonetized, but he got demonetized on YouTube, and the video where it happened, he damn near cried. Why? Because he can no longer get super chats. And guess what? Not crying for him, not one bit. But the reason why I do these videos, the reason I decided that I want to make these videos, I've been wanting to make these videos for a long time, because men's rights advocates, men going their own way, incels, all of these people are harmful to society. They perpetuate toxic masculinity, and not enough folks like myself, cis white men, are fighting back against them. We need to fight back against these people. We need to stand up and say, look, men, other men, listen to us. This is not what you want to be like. This is why what these people are saying is full of shit. Because they're full of shit. This is why what they're saying is wrong. So I get it. These people suck. These people absolutely suck. And it absolutely sucks that they say these things. And look, I don't want to, I don't necessarily will say, hey, let's give this person a platform. It's not that I want to give them a platform, but I want to tell people this is why this crap is wrong. I want my sons to know why this stuff is wrong. I want other men to know why this stuff is wrong. And so this is why I'm kind of wanting to do these shorts, and why I'm going to cut these up into shorter videos. So maybe some people will see some of these shorter videos and be like, hey, maybe I should take a listen to some of these longer videos, because, hey, maybe he's making some good points as to why Myron and Byron and, hey, they rhyme, and all these, Myron and Brian are making all of these, points about women, but maybe they're wrong. Maybe they're making bad points. And maybe I should take a listen to the other side. A great man listens to the company you keep. Mess with trash, you get dirty. Yep. Rise in misogyny goes hand in hand with white supremacy. Nationalism is the Christian fash. Yep. These dudes probably have no idea what their edgy ideas are, holdovers from the Iron Age, effing illiterates. I mean, I would argue that maybe they do know. A lot of con artists do know what they're doing. The people that listen might not know. The people that watch might not know what's happening to them. A lot of snake oil salesmen know what they're selling is not the real deal. But they still sell it anyway because they know people will buy it. These people know that what they're selling is not that when they're telling people how to be alphas, there's no such thing as an alpha, but they're showing these people how to be alpha men or whatever. They know that the people watching this are not going to be like them, that they're going to be still going to be a bunch of incels at the end of the day. But that doesn't mean that they're not going to keep trying to convince them that if they, that they still can be that, because they want them to continue to watch their channel. They want them to continue to do super chats if they still are monetized. They want them to still be able to, participate and contribute money and add views and continue to help them grow to be more popular so they can, continue to spread their filth